Call the meeting of the Boothbay Selectmen to order. First, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we've already had, we've had our public hearing. Dan, didn't you say there was another public hearing for a liquor license?
It was going to be, but they didn't get it in. It's going to be the next.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
I just didn't see it there. I wanted to make sure,
I
that's
thought
all.
it was going to be,
Okay.
and then I talked to the girls today, and they said no, they were going to have it.
Okay, no problem.
Next
I just wanted to make sure we wasn't missing it, that's all.
Yep, yep.
Public comment?
I missed you guys.
Okay, that's none.
Reports, Dan?
Okay, so briefly, in the business office, they sent out 565 reminder notices, and they only have 433 left that are unpaid. So it was a pretty successful round for them. Public Works, they have all the floats painted and put in at Nickercane. And they're optimistically painting and repairing plow blades. So things are looking pretty good there. We'll probably start looking into, we'll do a safety check between the two offices too here. We'll kind of settle into probably an annual or something similar. On the code side, we're starting to pick up. I think we're reviewing 5 building permit applications. And I think it's hard to tell now with septics because we still have some laying from last year.
Yep.
But I'd say we probably have somewhere in the vicinity of 16 to 20 plumbing. And we're probably about 12 to 14 for septics, and then 12 to 14 for plumbing.
So, at some point, you're coming into your busy season,
Mm-hmm.
and you're wearing 2 hats. And Lori is not able to go out in the field at all. I mean, have you given thought of maybe bringing Art or somebody in to help out?
I've thought about it, but I was going to talk to the board first to see what.
And I think on a limited basis, if he gets, we don't want you working till 11 o'clock every night to do both jobs. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but.
I would have to agree. I think you have to kind of at least incorporate Art if he's, at least inquire to him if he's interested.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's, 1 or 2 days a week, maybe just to be able to go out and do the guy in the field.
Yep, and I can look into that, but it should come from you first, that you're comfortable with it. But right now, I'm fine with the workload, and I'd say in order to save some money, we just wait until things really ramp up.
As it gets busier, I just don't want to see you out of the office every day doing them kind of things.
The hard part would be that a lot of the meetings and I'm going to have to start attending some classes, no matter what the situation is, just to be a better employee here.
Right.
That I don't want that. I don't want to lose that for the customer service side. People shouldn't have to wait for me, for too long. And sometimes it happens. You can't do anything about it. But I'd rather not see that happen.
I guess if we just leave it at his discretion, is everybody okay with that?
We meet every 2 weeks, so he could ask us.
Yeah, I could tell you as we start to, and we are definitely getting busier now. This is the time of year when we've kind of finalized any of the revisions that we've done. I am starting to get a little bit of time chewed up on the planning board side because we're looking at the cell phone ordinance, and there's going to be quite a bit of work that goes into that.
I think, rather than have him ask, I think we just give it to him at his discretion.
Right, I agree. I think at this point in time that when you deem it necessary to get Art involved, you get Art involved.
Okay.
And maybe even get a courtesy call now to let him know that you might
I'll
be.
probably reach out just to see if
See if he's available.
if he's available, 2 or 3 days, if we can do that, and then I can certainly man it.
We have the money budgeted because we're saving your salary while you're acting as the town manager. So
It's there, and, but, you know, right now, I can handle it. I can easily handle it, and I could handle it then. I mean, it would
Just don't
take more hours, but I just don't want to see customer service suffer. I
don't
don't wanna
spread,
have-
and don't spread yourself too thin either.
No, yeah, that'll be my main concern, you know, guys want to see me red-eyed over here all night. But yes, all right, thank you. So that's it. That's where we're at on code. We're starting to get a lot of inquiries, you know, and that's what always happens just before we get in. People want to know what they can do with this property, what they can't do with this property, both prospective buyers and their agents. So oftentimes, we're fielding calls for the same people. So,
You go through that too, huh?
yeah, so, but it's due diligence, and it's a good sign that we're getting these calls. Hopefully, we'll beat last year, and last year we beat the previous year, so hopefully that's where we're headed.
That's it for reports. Okay. Move on to old business. First up is the Lincoln telephone. Dan got us the pricing that he promised us from the last meeting. I don't think, other than that, there's nothing more to add, is there?
No, not yet. We still, it's with Jensen Baird.
Okay.
And they're looking it over. I'm sure they have a particular office that goes to, and so when they've looked it over fully, we'll get it back, and they'll tell us, you know, looks fine from our perspective, or I'd change this, or.
Okay.
I do think that anything we can do to encourage them to expand into Boothbay, looking at the prices and what they have to offer,
Yeah.
I think we
I
would
think
be
you
very
guys seem to be
supportive.
pretty happy with that.
Absolutely.
Is that on your radar at all, Frank?
Problem is it isn't up that way right now.
Right.
But
Frank, is that on your radar at all?
Oh, sorry,
The fiber optics?
this is I'm excited to hear about it, first I heard of it.
Yeah, they actually have it in Harbor.
It's
They do
strong
have
in,
franchise
it's strong in
Oh,
the
it's
harbor,
on there, radar down there? Oh.
it's strong,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
strong in the harbor and the business is already on it.
a lot of businesses, he said,
Oh,
it's,
yeah, no, they don't talk about stuff like that.
So this would be something maybe even for the tavern that
Yeah.
maybe you want to take a look at.
Yeah.
And you can see they're pretty well competitively priced. But yeah, no, and I think, as far as I know, that's the last piece for you guys. You would just want to get that okayed on the.
what amazes me the most about them is when you go with Fairpoint and/or Time Warner, when they quote you a speed, it's always like 15.1 or whatever that is. 15.1 means 15 downloads, 1 upload. With these folks, everything is 10.10, 15.15, 20.20. So, I mean, you send an email with many attachments and it's gonna be lightning fast,
It'll be there.
so. It's
So this would
pretty,
be competing with Time Warner? then?
yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes, Time
All
Warner
the
needs some
competi- we can-
competition.
All the competition we can get
And
is
it's
good.
all through fiber optics instead
Right,
of,
yeah.
They're running fiber optics rather than digital signal.
You know, you mentioned the tavern, the problem is, the cable doesn't go anywhere near the
Right.
Not
tavern
yet.
right now.
No.
There's only a small area over in East Boothbay that it covers.
And they're hoping to expand.
These guys?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Time Warner's in there right now.
right.
Yeah. One of the things that I mentioned to him is he ought to look at covering the whole town.
Yeah.
That way, Time Warner does have a little bit of competition. And
Yeah, it won't be
Right
much
now,
of
it's
a-
all underground. I mean, it goes right down my road underground.
By your driveway.
Right, but I have no access to it because it's underground, but if they can find a way to get that above ground, I mean, I know about everybody for this pricing and what they're offering,
Yeah.
we'll take it. It's more of an à la carte kind of a TV menu too versus when you buy DirecTV or whatever, you have to buy their package with 100 music channels.
Well, then they have to get your blessing in order to be able to come into this area, right?
Not really, because they're already doing it, they just, I guess,
It gives them some exclusivity.
right.
For
So they need to
five,
leverage better coverage with, it's great if you're coming in, but we just don't
Right.
want, you know, we want it for,
Right, but we want to be able to encourage, we want to be proactive, but yet we also, I mean, there's a fine line. You don't want to discourage them from coming into the town by putting them
They
and
want
saying,
customers,
right.
so-
right, I mean, you figure the customers is gonna be the drive for them to start
Right.
getting the stuff up in aerial.
Yeah.
But Yes, I mean, like Chuck was trying to incentivize that and say, can you give us a time frame on how much time is it gonna take to do that?
Right.
And he was not going to give us a time frame.
It's expensive, I'm sure, to run fiber optic. There's no getting around that. I don't blame them,
And
but
every time he goes aerial, you gotta pay for all the poles, cause
Right.
then you gotta put lease space on all those poles.
it's very encouraging though.
Nothing simple.
Okay, next under old business is the personnel policy, which I would like to table until next meeting because we still haven't gotten it back from our attorney yet, so.
Yep, I would agree then.
Okay, next up is the adoption of the May 4th, 2015 annual town meeting warrant. We had our public hearing earlier on it.
I'll make a motion that we sign and post the warrant for May 2015 town meeting.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? All those in favor? You want to use the one I got here as a, there's no
Yes.
place to sign it.
It's not on there? Yep, hold on. I'll get you.
It's just, you see what I mean? It's just got the names, but there's no,
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we, it's,
okay. Can't really move on to the next item because he needs to explain that, so take a break for a second. We can take the opportunity to welcome Douglas back. Down there soaking up the sun while we've all been up here freezing.
Yeah, it was nice.
And you didn't bring much back with you, the
I
warmth.
know. It was cold the day I come back. That wind was blowing. Man, when it cold in New Hampshire.
I apologize, I was late, but can you briefly tell me what happened with the legal telephone policy?
Nothing. He just gave us this, the pricing that he had promised us last meeting.
Okay, just
And,
information.
yeah, and we don't have, we sent the, agreement off to our lawyer and we haven't gotten it back yet, so,
Who got the agreement? You know, or-
yeah, that was, it's more of a standard agreement, I think.
Okay. Any idea when you expect to get it back?
Hopefully we'll have it for next meeting, I would imagine.
Okay, as well with the personnel policy.
Yes. Yeah, the attorney that represents us in the firm was on vacation for 2 weeks, so,
Okay, it's a good excuse.
yeah. I don't think she was really worried about our personnel policy or this on the beach.
Yeah.
How did the public hearing go?
We had one person.
Was it Frank?
No?
No.
No,
We, one person looked at it and said, it's good.
Who was the person?
Rosemary.
Right.
Brett?
Yep.
Yeah, Rosemary.
Did she have any comments?
She just thought it looked good.
No?
She had to comment, she told us not to bother to go through it, she read it and thought it looked
Yeah,
great.
yeah, right.
We had a public hearing last week too,
With zero
with
attendance.
0 attendance.
You guys are doing a good job.
Well, Bill was at the comp plan public workshop that we had on Monday, and there was a couple of planning board members that showed up that had some questions, but
Yeah.
Alan and Fran. But other than that, it was the comp plan committee and Bill.
It's a pretty straightforward warrant this year. You know, I mean, really, the only thing on there that's, other than, that's not budgetary, is whether the townspeople want to buy the post office or not.
Right.
How about the Lily field?
Big one.
That's not on there yet.
Still on the, still working on it?
Yeah, that's still in, we have a committee formed.
Well, what I've heard is that the junior high, they're not gonna have any, they're not gonna have a team this year. Can you tell me why baseball seems to be in a wall? Have you heard that?
I mean, I've heard that, I've heard rumor that the junior high wasn't going to, whether that's, I don't know. But this, I mean, realistically, there's, if you look at, this is gonna be a little different after the committee's worked on it, but there's a Little League field there, and then there's another one there that could be used, but may not be used.
Yeah.
but it's also soccer, lacrosse, and field hockey. So
It's
it
not
kind of,
just- it's not-
absolutely,
This was just a part.
right. I mean, the one special one over to the side is Little League, minor league kind of field, but other than that, it's general purpose. We should have the updated plan soon back from Knickerbocker. Dan expected it, I thought. He might even have it now. But the committee has met twice so far and made some changes to what you see back here, based on just everybody's input on the committee. It's been great so far. So I think we're gonna get
What was the change?
moving things around, for much more parking, getting the parking off the road, and putting the ice rink
Back
Okay.
in here.
on this property. It will be back in there, that area. Actually, it'd be a little bit more this way, only because the parking lot will wrap around and go right to the ice rink. And that way you can drive right up to the ice rink, and the ice rink will be covered. So in the summertime, you could use it, put picnic tables in there and stuff, and use it as a picnic area.
Farmers market maybe.
Yeah.
Any
That's
kind of
what
a
they-
potential,
Is
yeah.
ice rink gonna be, Michael, or is it?
I don't know.
Okay, not that far.
No. And then the dog park moves over that way more, because, I mean, we felt that you can, I mean, the dog park can be moved anywhere versus the fields.
Right.
So we moved the dog park over, you'll still be able to drive right up to it and stuff, but it's away from the kids more too, by moving it over that way. Just, I mean, you're gonna have a fence, but you never know. So it's nice,
Multi-purpose, covered building like that for farmers market and events and fairs that can be used for skating and winners.
and we talked about making the walking trail that you see going around there, a 10-foot paved surface, so it'll be handicapped accessible, or if like little kids are learning to ride a bike or whatever, they can go out there. I don't know if you're familiar with Brunswick's at all, but they said there's a line
Yeah.
for bikes and a line, and the other
Yeah.
side's walking, and that's
Yeah.
what and there'll be workout stations in them yellow areas, them outdoor workout stations.
Yep.
It was very exciting to hear everybody's input, because it's things you'd never think of,
Yeah.
so. Oh, look at that, he heard us talking.
And he does have the updated one.
So, something you guys would like to look at?
You wanna? Yeah, we might as well take a minute or two, why not? It's not like we have a lot on the agenda.
It'd be kind of nice if we could stick it on this.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's secured, and I don't want to mess with it.
No.
He probably has one of them, that's where he's going, I'll bet. Maybe he has another one of them that they stick to.
It's stuck right to the wall.
Yep. Can you sign that?
I can. Yeah, he asked nicely. There you go, that's the right idea, Dan. Since I can't even figure out how to get this thing off the wall. I think it's a permanent fixture, it's wallpaper now. Can I give you a hand?
Now, wait a minute. That isn't the updated one.
We don't have the newest.
Oh, okay, so that's the same thing as what we got
This
back
is the-
here.
Yeah, I was just,
Oh.
I knew you were chatting about
Right.
it, so
No, I
just to
thought-
give everybody a, no, I meet with.
Okay.
Knickerbocker and Sue Mello.
So that really,
Just a show.
yeah, I mean, that's not the one that the committee's kind of changed around, so,
Looks impressive.
yeah. It'd be more impressive if we can build it.
So, okay, that's just an aerial drawing with the fields going onto it.
Yeah.
Superimposed.
Superimposed, okay.
Mhm. Looks impressive.
Yeah, it'd be exciting.
That's a-
There's something for everybody there, which is the good part. You know, don't focus on just one generation.
And going back to baseball, I know that there is still interest in baseball, because I know reading the online register site today, there was a welcome in there from Lincoln Littlefield, Lincoln,
Little League.
Little League, thank you, welcoming Boothbay and another town into the organization.
They joined with Lincoln Academy this year, Little League has, not the minor leagues and stuff, but Little League. This would give them potential to have a place that they'll know that they can come and play home games, which would be kind of neat. You know, so I think it's exciting for all levels. I mean, I've heard more people praised the dog park, the walking trails. I mean, there's just something for everybody, which is kind of exciting. So, it's nice, it would be nice to have something like that in our town, you know, instead of having to go to Brunswick to do a walking trail or something. Okay, so Dan, here's your warrant, signed, sealed, and delivered.
You have a warrant for Dan?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that didn't take long.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
they're waiting in the parking lot there.
I don't know, there's one extra page
I
there,
get
but.
there, I'll get that, yeah, I'll call that.
We'll move on to new business. The Gary Arsenault proposal for the East Boothbay Fire Station. Maybe you want to explain that a little, Dan?
Sure, yeah. Just to give you a little breakdown, he brought it in, it's an estimate he had done, I think it was last year, is it dated?
2013.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And he brought it in and he's able to get an energy rebate with this. Essentially what we're looking at is a 50% savings until we reach April 1. At that point, they're gonna drop their rebate, and we're probably looking at a 25% rebate at that time. So on that bill, I think it's what,
1550.
So I think he gives a breakdown on the side. Essentially, we're gonna drop about a third of that cost. You know, because it's for the hardware. So it's just something I wanted to bring before you, see what you thought, because we'd have to get it going
You have to do this by the end of the month.
sooner rather than
By the end
later.
of the month,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. So we'd have to give him the okay, right?
yeah. As long as he gets the paperwork started
Yeah, right.
before then,
Right.
we're okay.
And this will reduce the electricity cost over there? in the
It
old
will,
station?
yeah, we win in two ways.
Yeah.
We save cost on that initial purchase. And then, yeah, it's much more energy efficient, which is the reason for
I don't
the
think,
rebate.
I mean, but cost, I don't know if it would be more of a factor, because cost is kind of mute now that we have the solar panels, but more saving efficient is more important, I think, to us now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Save on the grid, I guess is the way to put it.
Right.
Because our solar panels are matching what we're using townwide.
Only because this is brought to us so late, since, we got April 1 that we're looking at here. I would love to see a cost comparison for LED versus these T12s.
Okay.
Because the T12s is what we have up at the shop, but it's almost to the point now where it's becoming old technology, and LEDs are even more efficient.
Okay, I can do that, but
And if he tells me that that's not gonna apply, or if it doesn't fit, I'm still okay with
No,
this.
he's
That's not
using
my point.
T8. He's going from T12s to T8.
Oh, okay. But even still, it's all fluorescents.
Right.
so if I get that information and he says, this is the reason why,
Yep.
et cetera, do you want me to have him move forward with?
What I'd recommend is just send it to us electronically and get a consensus, and we can ratify it at the next meeting.
Well, we can't.
Can't.
Be
It'll
too
be,
late.
it'll be too late. I think that's why we're gonna have to let him,
Give
No, I'm
him-
saying, move forward with it.
Give him the
Once we
go-ahead.
take a look at it and it's what you're looking for,
I see what you're
then we say yes, and then we'll ratify that.
Yep, so
That'll work.
I'll just, if I get all that information and Gary provides me with what you're looking for, I'll forward that out to you and I'll just keep moving forward.
Yep.
please make sure Gary knows I'm not an electrician. I'm not trying to step on his toes.
Yeah, no, you just want the proper
Just have
information.
questions.
Yep,
Right.
Yep. I'll do that.
Okay. That's it for new business, unless you have anything else you wanted to add, Dan?
No. We will.
Public comment?
What's the status with the sidewalk project in the Boothbay Harbor?
In the DOT's hands right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just waiting on the approvals that they require. I think we've already gone through the archaeological side of it. And, well, I say that, I know we've produced the information that they needed for.
'Cause it looks like it ties in somewhere with this.
Correct.
Yes, it does.
Hopefully.
And it's still deemed for building this year, right?
Yeah, I think the DOT had the money slated for
It's-
16.
16, not 15?
Well,
It's
16
in the
begins
queue,
July 1.
yes.
Oh, okay, right,
So, yeah, we're,
right. Okay.
But that's where it's at. I mean, you,
Okay.
and they're like the
So it falls
immovable
in that quote,
object.
that's all. Okay.
Yeah, because essentially and I haven't been the driving force behind this project, but essentially what I've seen so far is they just, if they need information, they send a request, you gotta fill this out, so you just take that, get it back.
Has anybody from the town touched base with them since Jim has left?
Just an initial, I'm the point of contact, so if you have anything new, could you reach out to me just to let me know
Yep, good.
so I can fill people in?
Okay.
But that's the extent of it,
That's all you can do then.
We've also kind of,
pretty much.
I wouldn't use the word drop the ball, but there's been a lull in the economic development between the two towns, and Dan's been working on putting together a meeting of all of us again, yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll be getting together back
So-
again soon.
I'll send out another doodle poll. Maybe I can even do it tonight before I go, and just get an idea of what. It's hard because we're gonna have to project into the next month, and I know there are gonna be a lot of meetings leading up to.
Town meetings.
Yeah, so, I mean, on the harbor side and on our side, so this is gonna be a tricky kind of window for us.
That's where being in contact with Tom will help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he
Yeah,
knows
and
their
Tom's,
schedule.
Tom's been great, opened up a line of communication with him, and he gave me some dates that won't work for him, definitely. I think he's going to some training. So at least I can take those 2 blocks out and see if we can work with the rest of it. But if it isn't tonight, it'll be tomorrow that I should have that doodle poll out, so.
Next up is, sorry. Sorry, I didn't see your hand.
Who Jerry Austin is?
He's an electrician, Northern Lights Electric. Yeah, it's right
Across
across,
the common.
Right across the street.
right off of the common.
What's he gonna do? He's gonna refit the fire hall with lights, or?
Yep, lights and I think ballasts are in there, in the quote too.
More energy efficient.
And he's trying to take advantage, this is something that they needed a couple years ago.
You want-
And now he's just, and it is
Bill?
up there if you want. He would like to take advantage of the rebate if possible.
Energy efficiency.
Efficiency.
Energy efficient main, yeah.
Yep,
And that's why the April 1st deadline.
Yes,
because the size of the rebate is going down at that.
yeah.
So what information do you need from him before you make a decision?
I think I just need to get a classification on why we need the equipment that's listed in the quote.
And this equipment might be perfect, it's just,
Yeah,
I just kinda touching on LEDs, that's
it's
all.
not being an electrician, I think just so
You're
anyway.
wondering why it's going, they're talking about CFL, not LED.
Right, I mean, to me,
CFL is old tech. and
it is,
LED
it's, I wanna, if we're gonna spend the money, and maybe it's, the LED's not gonna fit under the efficiency main rebate, and if that's the case, that's fine. But, I mean, if you're gonna go, you might as well go with the newest technology.
Yeah, they have been doing LEDs, we got LEDs.
Can you clarify how you're gonna proceed since you're not gonna meet before the April 1st deadline?
We give
Sure,
them-
I've been given authority through the board to proceed as long as I produce the information that they requested. But we will push forward, and as Chuck said, they'll ratify it at the next meeting.
So he can still go through the application process through efficiency main and whatever.
Okay.
The paperwork needs to be in before April
Yeah.
1st.
You guys can always put the brakes on.
Right,
Right.
right.
Correct, so at least we're getting the paperwork started, and,
Okay,
We don't wanna lose out on the savings.
so you'd actually make the official decision at the next,
Right.
Mhm.
just April 1st, is that correct, or is that?
Yeah, next April, whenever it is.
yeah, the
That's good, no, I just,
Yeah.
I appreciate
second
it.
Wednesday.
All I need from you tomorrow is a copy of the town warrant.
Yeah, well,
Should I call you in the morning,
we gotta
or
get
should I
ready.
just drop by you?
You can give him one tonight, can't you?
I can just,
Email it to him?
Is it on the website?
I can just print you off one.
That'll be good. Pretty easy for you.
Yeah, I'll just give you one before. I think they're floating all over the place. I don't know how many.
Grab one that floats by, would you?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's easy.
You all set, Bill?
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to sign the warrants upon review.
So moved?
Second?
All those in favor?
Motion to adjourn?
So moved, I'm seconding. Sorry.
All those in favor?